What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be building on what we talked about last time, which was the specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goal, or a SMART goal, and how it fits into the goal pyramid, and how you can use the goal pyramid to accomplish and achieve your goals. But before we start that, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and you will be kept up to date on all the new content that is coming out from this channel. Product reviews, coaching videos, biathlon commentary. If you're a fan of biathlon and you like this stuff, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you are kept up to date. Alright, let's dive right into it. So in my last video I talked about SMART goals, and I'll leave a link in the description down below, or maybe something up here, I don't know. But in my last video we talked about SMART goals and what is a good goal for you to set for yourself. And we talked about the difference between just saying, I want to get better this year, and I want to come in the top 3 at US Biathlon National Championships in 2022. So check the description for a link to that video if you haven't seen it already. But now we're going to move on and talk about big picture. Where does your SMART goal fit into the whole grand scheme of things? And that is where we're going to start talking about a goal pyramid. And so what a goal pyramid is you have your SMART goal at the top, your big season-long goal that you want to accomplish at the top. As we go down the pyramid, that is where we start focusing more and more on what we can do throughout the season, month to month, week to week, and then finally day to day to accomplish that goal. And like I said in the goal setting video, a lot of your goals are going to be very results oriented. And you only get one shot, you get one chance at accomplishing your goal. And so if, again, going back to my specific example of trying to place in the top 3 at US Nationals, I can't just sit around on the couch all season, all winter, and just show up to Nationals and try to accomplish that goal. So there's things that we can do along the way. There's benchmarks that we can set for ourselves to make sure that we are on the right track, and there's simple reminders on the day-to-day level that'll ultimately add up to help us achieving this top goal. So, going back to our goal pyramid, top of the pyramid, we have our SMART goal. This is the season-long goal, and again, I'm going to go with try to place in the top 3 at US Nationals. Now, before I can just place in the top 3 at US Nationals, there needs to be some indication to myself that I'm improving, some indication that I am on the right path. So as we move down the level, I'm going to put a few tests or race benchmarks for myself. Achieving these benchmarks does not indicate that you are for sure going to achieve your SMART goal, but it's a way for you to know that you're on the right track. So for me, a couple things that I like to see. I know that to be top 3 at US Nationals, I have to be a pretty good shooter, so I'm going to put in a pretty darn good shooting score. I'm going to say I need to shoot over 500 in the 30-30 test, or I need to be shooting 90% under 2 minutes in the American test. There's a specific score that I would like to achieve on the strength test. It's stuff like this where it's going to make me work, it's going to make me have to, kind of grind a little bit to try to achieve these benchmarks, and tell me that, okay, when you achieve these benchmarks, then you're on your way to achieving your goal. But one thing I want to point out here is, a lot like your SMART goal at the top of your pyramid, these are results-oriented goals. These are not just things that you can show up, accomplish one day, and then just be on your way to coming in the top 3 at Nationals. These results should be just that, results. These are the results of your hard work and work ethic that you put in at the lower levels of the goal pyramid. So because of this, I like to put a nice thick line after this second level as a way of reminding myself, this is going to be the outcome of my hard work. So what is the hard work? What are the things that I can control that will ultimately help me get the better shooting score, the better strength test, which will ultimately put me in a better position for being in the top 3 at US Nationals? That is what comes underneath this thick black line. So first, the monthly basis. What are some things that I can do month to month to make sure that I'm on the right track? And, thinking sort of big picture here, it's simple things like make sure you're following your training plan. Every training plan is very specifically outlined for you to follow, and if you just start sort of skipping hours one week and adding hours another week, all of a sudden you're going to be completely off and you're not going to be following the training plan correctly. So following the training plan is a big one. Another one at the monthly level is actually make sure you're doing some testing events. You can't just save these shooting tests and strength tests for the end of the summer as you go into the season, because what if you show up, what if you think you're doing everything correct, you show up in November, do a test, and you're way horribly off from where you're supposed to be. I wish we knew that back in July so we could adjust our training. We can maybe hit the weight room a little bit more. We can focus a little bit more at practice so we can know where our improvement is going and we can track our improvement along the way. So make sure you're doing some of these tests along the way. And if you do accomplish one of your goals in the second level of the pyramid, that's awesome. Go ahead and give yourself a check mark for having accomplished that goal. But you should be doing tests so that way you can track your progress along the way. All right, moving down to the weekly category, this is where it starts to fill up a little bit. Each week, I like to make sure I'm going to the weight room a few times a week, doing intervals a few times a week. Running, roller skiing, L3 intervals, L4 intervals, going to the range. This is where you sort of stop, recap the week, ask yourself, did you accomplish everything that you wanted to accomplish this week? Because, there's a few things that we don't just do every single day. For example, I wouldn't do intervals every single day because you're going to be exhausted. Same thing as why I wouldn't only do over distance every day, because you're never going to develop the fast twitch muscle. But you do want to do some intervals every week, and you do want to do your over distance every week. So that's why I like to put that one in the weekly category. All right, and finally, we're at the bottom level of the pyramid. This is your base of the pyramid. This is your daily column. And this is really where everything starts to fill up, because as a good athlete, there's a lot that we know we should be doing, but sometimes it doesn't get done. And that's why having a goal pyramid like this is really important, because it'll keep us on track. It'll give us reminders of what we need to be doing. So number one, obviously you've got to be going to training. This is really important. Whether you're, training with a group and a program, or you got to be getting out there on your own and grinding solo, you got to be putting the hours in. You got to be training. Endurance athletics is a sport of time. You can't just go out, memorize a few plays, memorize a few drills, and that's not endurance sports. Endurance sports is straight up getting out, adding the hours, and building your base. A lot like what we're doing here with this goal pyramid. We're building our base. What's the stuff we can do every day? So you're training, you're dry firing, that's a really big one. And it doesn't have to be 3 hours of dry fire a day. It can be something as simple as taking 10 to 20 shots. That's better than nothing. That's handling the rifle. That's, getting a feel for the trigger. That's seeing through the sights. It's all small little things that are adding up to being a really big deal when you look at it in terms of seasons and years. I like to remind myself to fill out my training log. There'll be a whole separate video on why a training log is important, but just know that you should probably be filling out your training log. Another thing that is often overlooked is just overall health and wellness. Make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're eating a balanced diet, taking your vitamins. Say goodbye to your overall season goal if you're spending months on the sidelines because of injury. So make sure that you're doing everything that we know we're supposed to be doing. Another one that I want to put on here, and this is specific for the junior athletes in high school, is get good grades. And I say this to all the junior athletes that I coach. You have to be a well-rounded person in order to be a good athlete. And it's very rare that I see someone who is completely lacking in one area of life and completely excelling in a second area of life. So it's important to make sure that you are well-rounded and you're getting good grades as well. Another reason too is if you're going to be traveling for a lot of these events to accomplish your goals, you have to make sure that you're able to travel. If you're failing and not getting good grades, say goodbye to thinking about traveling and even putting yourself in the situation to try to accomplish these goals. So that right there should be enough of a motivation for you to try to get good grades. So now let's take a step back and look at the whole picture. The goal pyramid really it's a guide for you to focus on the things at the bottom. And if you're focusing on the things at the bottom and you're doing your absolute very best to try to accomplish them every single day, the top goal will be a consequence of your actions. And it's the same thing in reverse. If you don't do the things at the bottom, you're not going to accomplish the secondary tier stuff. And whatever ends up happening at the top will be a consequence of your actions. We use the word result so much in biathlon, but in reality, it is a consequence. It is a consequence of your hard work at the bottom tier that will affect the top tier. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so that way you are up to date with all the videos that are coming out from this channel. I'm hoping to get more coaching videos out like this one. I'm going to get some biathlon commentary, some product reviews are in the works. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and you will be up to date when all the latest videos come out from this channel. And if you like this video, hit the like button for me. It tells me that you're enjoying this content and it will help give me some feedback as to what you guys do and don't like. But until next time.